miniseries Masters of the Air, adapted from the eponymous work, has captured the attention of many World War II enthusiasts, particularly those with a keen interest in aerial combat history. Masters of the Air primarily tells the story of the U.S. 8th Air Force. In this video, we'll be discussing two flight jackets featured in the series. The A-2 jacket, perhaps the most famous flight jacket, succeeded the A-1 flight jacket. The A-1 jacket, introduced in 1927 for the United States Army Air Corps, featured a shorter waist design, two large pockets, knit collars and cuffs, and a snug-knit hem. It was a sleeker and more stylish upgrade from the flight suits of World War I, laying the foundation for American flight jackets. The A-2 jacket retained most of the design elements of the A-1, but introduced changes such as using a zipper instead of buttons, a leather collar instead of knit, and concealed buttons for the large pockets. The A-2 jacket was even sleeker than the A-1, with a shirt-style metal collar clasp, shoulder epaulettes, no side entry pockets, as placing hands in pockets was deemed improper military bearing. Crafted from a single piece of leather both front and back, the jacket exuded simplicity and neatness. Initially made from horsehide, which is a relatively stiff leather, a new A-2 jacket would be rigid, softening and conforming to the wearer's body over time, thus improving in appearance with wear. Later, goat and cowhide were also used for A-2 jackets, with variations depending on the production time and manufacturer. Military contracts stipulated that the A-2 jacket's color must be seal brown, but the specific shade varied. Consequently, different contractors produced A-2 jackets in various shades of brown, roughly categorized as dark brown, some almost black, and reddish brown, ranging from light to intense. Regardless, these A-2 jackets of different colors were genuine products issued to troops.
A-2 jackets produced during World War II were tailored to be slim-fitting, reflecting the relatively slender build of adult American males at the time. However, A-2 jackets produced after 1988 were more relaxed in fit. Originally intended for all aircrew members from pilots to bombardiers, the A-2 jacket's popularity led to high demand. Even officers and soldiers from other branches besides the Army Air Corps coveted an A-2 jacket. General Douglas MacArthur and General George Patton were among those who owned A-2 jackets. To meet demand, the U.S. Military Logistics Department awarded numerous A-2 jacket contracts to various companies, even sourcing from Australia, yet demand still outstripped supply. Many British tailors undertook private commissions from American servicemen, producing A-2 jackets outside official channels. Though not officially procured, these privately tailored A-2 jackets also bore witness to military history and are considered valuable. Members of the U.S. Army Air Corps often sewed their squadron insignias onto their jackets, and many painted bombs on the backs of their jackets to denote the number of missions flown. Later, artistic members embellished their A-2 jackets with various designs, forming a unique flight jacket culture. In 1943, due to cost considerations, General Arnold of the U.S. Army Air Corps ceased new A-2 flight jacket procurement contracts, replacing them with cloth flight jackets. By 1944, with existing contracts fulfilled, the U.S. military ceased acquiring new A-2 jackets. However, enthusiasm for A-2 jackets persisted, with many Air Force pilots continuing to wear them on missions into the Korean War. As stocks depleted, the A-2 jacket vanished from the U.S. Air Force. However, as numerous World War II veterans left military service, A-2 jackets entered civilian circulation. Their frequent appearances in films and TV shows further popularized them, making the A-2 jacket a highly sought-after civilian garment. Initially, authentic surplus A-2 jackets circulated in civilian markets. But over time, genuine World War II-era A-2 jackets became increasingly rare and valuable, fetching over $8,000 in good condition with historical value. Due to the significant market demand,
Many manufacturers began producing new A2 jackets, ranging from high-quality replicas faithful to historical specifications to cheaper imitations, with some deviations in materials or details. Despite the varying price points and authenticity levels, all variants appealed to consumers eager to experience the essence of the A2 jacket. In 1988, spurred by internal advocates, the U.S. Air Force resumed A2 jacket procurement, issuing them to aircrew personnel. The new A2 jackets differed slightly from World War II-era versions, featuring only medium brown color options, added side pockets, and a modernized fit. However, regulations prohibited the sewing of insignias or painting of designs on the jackets. Nevertheless, the return of the A2 flight jacket breathed new life into this classic garment. B3 flight jacket. The earliest design inspiration came from the Irvin jacket with the UK. Leslie Irvin was the famous American pilot who designed the modern parachute system and was the first person to parachute out of an airplane. Irvin also designed the famous Irvin flight jacket. Made from sheepskin with wool, the thick sheepskin, the fur collar that can be stood up, the cuffs that can be tightened, and the hem that can be cinched with a belt are all things that first appeared on the Irvin jacket. A leather jacket designed specifically for high-altitude flying operations, which was soon adopted by the British Royal Air Force. The U.S. Army Air Corps soon took a liking to the Irvin jacket as well, designing the B-3 flight jacket based on it. The B-3 jacket was designed specifically for bomber crews, because bombers such as the B-17 flew at altitudes of several thousand meters, and bombardiers and machine gunners had to carry out their missions in open cabins where temperatures were often below minus 50 degrees Celsius. So the thick B-3 jacket gave the bomber crews the best possible warmth. At first, the B-3 jacket was almost identical to the Irvin jacket, but later versions were improved. The Irvin jacket was made entirely of soft sheepskin and was not designed with any pockets. The B-3 jacket was later modified by adding 2 diamond-shaped pieces of cowhide on each arm to prevent the shoulders of bomber crews from being cut by sharp aircraft parts when walking around the cabin. B-3 jackets also had a large pocket made of cowhide on the right-hand side for gloves, as crews often had to take their gloves off to do certain things. The pocket is only available on one side. Some replica B-3 jackets are made to be symmetrical on both sides. That is not correct. Most B-3 jackets were dark brown, but there were also white versions. In Masters of the Air, Squadron Leader Major Egan wore a white version, albeit one he reportedly never cleaned, resulting in a dirty and smelly jacket. However, it proved to be his lucky jacket, as he was shot down the one time he didn't wear it on a mission.
I see you, John!
The B-3 jacket was standard issue for almost all bomber crew members, although during cold European winters, many famous figures, such as General Patton, were also seen wearing them. General Patton's B-3 jacket is now housed in the Patton Museum in Kentucky. Post-war, the B-3 jacket also gained popularity among civilian enthusiasts, with many replicas available for purchase. Personally, I've acquired 2 different versions of the B-3 jacket to wear. That concludes this segment. If you enjoyed it, please like and share.